This live presentation of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball on FingerLakes1.com is brought to you thanks to the support of Generations Bank, Bill Cram Chevrolet, Little John Orthodontic, Marshall Exteriors, It's a Wonderful Run 5K, Cicino's Pizzeria and Restaurant, Finger Lakes Partner Insurance, Brad Van Dusen Photography, Penny's Place Family Restaurant, Stever's Garage, The Omen Theater, Red's Place, Wilson Press, Connie's Diner, the Newark Pilots and Geneva Red Wings, the Downtown Deli, and FingerLakes1.com digital marketing.
Friday night high school basketball on FingerLakes1.com. You are looking live inside Newark High School, Newark, New York, the Rose City, where tonight a Finger Lakes East showdown between a couple of local rivals, the Mynderse Blue Devils taking on the Newark Reds. Glad you could be with us. Good evening, everybody. Jim Sinicropi sitting alongside Tane Robinson for FingerLakes1.com. And Tane, last time we saw this Newark team, they just fell a little short in a comeback on the road against Wayne. They've since got a nice road win against Geneva, which really gave Wayne a two-game lead in the standings, some comfort level. But tonight, a game that's been on our docket for the past few years, Mynderse Newark, it's become quite a rivalry.
Oh, absolutely, and there's been some great games that these two teams have had in the last couple of years, and this is just a great atmosphere to call a basketball game. You know, one of the most successful programs in all of Section 5 is Newark. You know, there's a great venue. We've got a nice elevated view of the court, got a good view of everything, and we should see a good game tonight.
Yes, indeed, and of course these two teams met two years ago at the Blue Cross Arena in the sectional final, a game that Mynderse won. The year before that, this Newark team beat Pelmac in the Blue Cross Arena for a sectional title. And when you look at these two teams, you're really talking about a couple of schools, blue bloods in Section 5 basketball. Newark Reds, 5th all-time in Section 5 titles, currently 2nd for the most wins in Section 5 since 1975. Mynderse, 7th all-time in sectional titles with 9. And, you know, up here in the eastern portion of the section, a lot of great basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Mynderse a little down this year as opposed to the past recent history. They come into the game at 2-5 in the league, 5-7 overall, losers of 3 straight. Newark, on the other hand, after having a 7-14 record last season, have bounced back. They're now 9-2, 5-2 in the league, coming off that win against Geneva. And I'd like to think that whenever these two teams get together, you can throw the records out the window. But they met back on December 7th, and it really wasn't a contest. Newark won 64-43 that game. And you know, what does Mynderse have to do different for a different outcome?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to need to take place on the defensive end. And Newark's got some real solid outside shooters in senior Mason Vandemortel and Jaden Peters. They can both really heat up from the outside. And what Mynderse is really going to have to do is find a way to slow those guys down. We saw earlier this year in the game that Newark lost against Waterloo that some zone defense was effective. Yep. They got out, got their hands up on those shooters, and Peters and Vandemortel had an off night. I think that's really going to be, you know, the keys for this Mynderse squad is, can we contain the outside shooting of Peters and Vandemortel?
Let me get a look at the Finger Lakes East standings here. You'll see that it's Wayne now with, actually that should be it's a 1-game lead for Wayne over Waterloo, two in the loss column. So you got Wayne, and then you have the next tier, which is Waterloo, Geneva, Newark. They've all been great games so far, and there's going to be a rematch of every one of them, including the games with Wayne. Newark will have Wayne back in this gymnasium. Geneva will have Wayne in their gymnasium, and Waterloo will host Newark after upsetting them right here, one of Newark's only 2 losses. And then there's a next tier, which you can see Mynderse, Midlakes, and Penyan tied 2-5 in the league. So not really league title implications on the line tonight, but for Newark, it's a must-win if they want to get back in the conversation. And since they will host Wayne later in the season, Actually, I'll give you a date on that. It'll be that Wayne game would be on the last day of the month, January 31st. There's still an outside chance that they could catch Wayne for a share. And when we called that game in Wayne, it looked like Wayne was going to roll all over them. But credit to Newark, they came back, and if that game maybe lasted a couple more minutes, Newark might have been able to pull it off.
Yeah, Newark just stayed the course in that game and found a way to get their scorers going late. Vandemortel heated up. Jaden Peters kept them in it early on, and they just didn't get frustrated and kept coming at Wayne. And they're a talented group. There's a lot of kids that can put the ball in the basket. We saw, not normally known for his outside shooting, but the senior point guard, Kyle Martinez, stepped up, made a couple of big three-pointers against Wayne to work their way back into that game. And so that should be a heck of a rematch when they see each other at the end of the month.
Yeah, and then, Mynderse coming off 3 straight losses at Avon, 58-45, a game that they were in for most of that game against one of the top teams. I think they're a C1 school, one of the top teams in C1. And then Geneva came into Arthur L. Baker and really handed it to Mynderse, 58-53, as did Wayne, 78-53 at Wayne. And it doesn't get any easier now as they face Newark. Newark comes into the game, like I said, with that win over Geneva. Previous to that, back on January 8th, the loss to Wayne. And before that, they beat Penn Yan and also captured the Josh Palmer Classic Tournament title in their division down in Elmira over the Christmas break. And we get a look at Kevin Korzaneski, head coach of the Mynderse, former FL1 Sports color man. Actually, 2 years ago, he called the play-by-play when Mynderse, for Finger Lakes 1, when Mynderse played Buffalo Health Sciences in Geneseo. Took over the helm last year, and this would be his second season back as a coach. Previously, he'd coached the Waterloo varsity team, and it's a tough spot for Corsi coming in. The cupboard's kind of bare. This is a young Mynderse team.
Right.
You give them the eye test, too. When you see them, they look young. They do have one key component, though. Darren Miller, senior, one of the better players in Finger Lakes East. Yep,
Darren Miller's been doing it in the Finger Lakes East for the last couple of years. He's big and he's strong, and he's really the best scoring option for this Mynderse Blue Devil team. And, that's really been something that Mynderse has struggled with a little bit, is finding out who else is going to help put points up on the board. We know that Miller's going to get his, but who else is going to get involved in the game? And that's why when we're talking about those keys to the game, I really think that Mynderse needs to try and slow things down, keep this to be a low-scoring game, because sometimes some of those points have been hard to come by this year.
Let's take a look at our Marshall's Exteriors keys to the game. Marshall Exteriors is your one-stop source for all your home exterior needs. Check out their website at Marshall Exteriors NY. And let's start with Newark.
Yep. So for Newark, their keys are going to be to play good defense, make sure they get the ball in the hands of their scorers, and they'll need Vandemortel and Peters to be putting up points for them both from the outside and inside. We saw Vandemortel very capable of attacking the basket.
Yeah, I think outside shooting for Newark, because you can expect Mynderse to play a couple zones, 2-3, 1-3-1, maybe even a 3-2, but they're going to force Newark to score from the outside, I would suspect. On the other side of the ball, key for Mynderse, I think, is they got to make shots. Somebody needs to make outside shots, whether it's the young guys like Troy Cabot, some of the more experienced guys like a Griffin Heron, who's probably going to be starting at 1 or 2. Jared King, a sophomore guard. Jake Smith, another sophomore guard. And they have another big guy to go along with Darren Miller and Sal Franzone and freshman Mike Bogart. These are all talented players that are just like a year or two away.
They're young. Yep. They're young. And so, the freshmen, Bogart and Cabot, both very talented players. Maybe tonight will be a night that they can heat up a little bit and add to the scoring column.
Nick Jones, another guy. Christian Torres, there's a couple more sophomores. Or actually, Torres a junior, but you never know what you're going to see with this Coach Korzaneski coach team this year as to who's going to play, because I think he's always looking to see who's got a little bit of a high hand, and unfortunately for Mynderse, a lot of the nights it's been nobody.
Right, and so Coach Korzaneski, I'm sure, shuffling his lineups, trying to see what works, get a little spark going, and stick with hot hands if anybody finds them.
Now there's Coach Kuparis for Newark, who again in his first year, struggled to a 7-14 record, lost 68-36 to Wellsville as a 9 seed in the Class B opening round. Bounced back this year. That was a bit of an aberration for this program. This program right back on track, and in Class B1, a real contender along with Greece Odyssey, Geneva, Waterloo, Batavia, Mid-Lakes, Greece Olympia. It's a Hornell, Livonia. That's a very winnable class. We'll look at the standings a little bit later as the pregame clock has expired, and we're getting ready now for the national anthem and then starting lineups. So we're going to step aside for about 60 seconds when the anthem gets set to go here. When we come back, it will be Friday night basketball. Just a couple more games, just 2 games on the docket for the boys tonight besides this one. Finger Lakes East games. Mid-Lakes is at Geneva, and Wayne is at Penn Yan. So hopefully a lot of you are relaxing at home as we get a look at the full slate of girls games, but with a winter storm on the way this weekend, hopefully people are hunkering down, ready for some high school basketball. We're going to step aside for 60 seconds. When we come back, Mynderse Newark straight ahead on FingerLakes1.com.
The newest way to save money is also the easiest way to save money. With the new MyGen Perks mobile app from Generations Bank, you get access to thousands of local and national discounts on shopping, dining, travel, and so much more. The savings don't stop there. Generations Bank's Go Premium and Go Preferred checking accounts also include cell phone protection, roadside assistance, and 24/7 Tri-Bureau credit monitoring. Saving money is for everyone. Stop by any Generations office or visit mygenbank.com to open your account today. Member FDIC. Dr. Littlejohn, Dr. Barbie, and their outstanding orthodontic team share a common goal: to ensure the overall wellness of each of their patients through their exceptional orthodontic care. Dr. Rod Littlejohn and Dr. Liz Barbie are proud to support our area high school athletes. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet, Waterloo Thruway Exit 41, Highway 5 and 20 in Seneca Falls. Browse their full Cramtastic new and used vehicle inventory online at BillCramChevrolet.com.
And welcome back as we get ready for basketball here. A little bit of trivia I got courtesy of my former co-host of the Upstate Orange podcast, Brad Connor. Only one team from Section 5 finished both the season undefeated and won a Federation State title. It's been done 11 times total. Mount Verden's the only team to have done it more than once in New York State. Small schools, mostly Class C and D schools, can't do it because they don't have Federation games for small classes. But can you name that team from Section 5 that went undefeated and won the Federation title?
Well,
I'll give you a hint. Their starting lineups being announced right now.
It's the Mynderse Blue Devils?
Do you know the year?
I do not.
1992.
92.
Yep,
wow.
The 1992 Mynderse team they were coached by Scott Smith, but Mynderse current head coach Kevin Korzaneski, a key cog in that team.
That Federation title is tough to get.
Yeah. And we get starting lineups now. You get a look at Mason Vandemortel, Kyle Martinez. Senior laden squad here for the Reds. They'll start 4 seniors and 1 junior. There's another senior, Adian Elliott. These 3 guys that just got announced along with Jaden Peters were in our studio last Sunday for the Upstate Hoops podcast. And there's the 1 junior starting, Devin Agosto, at 6'5". And then here's the final senior, Jaden Peters. One of the streakiest shooters in the league in all the Wayne Finger Lakes. When he gets going, boy, he can score a lot of points fast. And for Mynderse, it'll be Griffin Herron, Jared King, Heron a junior, King a sophomore. Mike Bogart, the freshman, getting the start. Jake Smith, another sophomore, and then, of course, Darren Miller, the senior leader for this squad. So the game clock shows 8 minutes. Players are getting set for the opening tip. Referees for tonight's ball game, Mike Padula and Mark McElroy. And it'll be McElroy throwing it up. Augusto versus Miller. And, false call on the opening tip. We'll throw it up again.
Miller might have gotten poked in the eye on that jump.
He is still rubbing that eye. Let's see. There we go again. This time it's a valid tip right into the hands of Jake Smith. And the Blue Devils get the first crack at it. It's Griffin Heron with the ball. Coach Korzeniewski wants all these guys to shoot more. King, Smith, back to King. King drives baseline, lets a floater go. It is just short, ball loose, and it looks like Augusto had his foot on the line when he saved it.
Newark opened up in that 2-3 zone that they played a lot of last week against Wayne. We saw them go with a little bit of 1-3-1 at times. Oh, easy inside layup off the inbounds play for Jared King.
So King's taking both shots, and now we get a foul on the drive by Vandemortel.
On the out-of-bounds play, Newark, even though they're setting up in a 2-3 defense, King just got the ball right in the middle of the key. Went up and laid it in.
You know, King is probably not shy. I mentioned Coach Korzeniewski wanting these young guys to shoot more. King's the one, I think, who has been willing to take those shots. Jake Smith perhaps been the most consistent shooter. Griffin Heron's probably been the best with the basketball. So all these guys have done some good things for this squad. And with the missed free throws, it's 2-0 Blue Devils early. So Smith with it, back to Heron. And now Miller on the baseline. Zone defense from the Reds. Griffin tries a three off the mark, rebounded by Augusto. And into the hands of Kyle Martinez. Dueling man buns here at Newark. Heron and Martinez. Aiden Elliott finds Peters wide open on the block, and he converts, and the Reds are on the board.
Nobody had their eyes on Jaden Peters on that cut.
King with the basketball, bounce pass to the elbow to Miller, whips it over to Jake Smith. Smith finds Heron, top of the key. Blue Devils will reset. Against a zone defense from Newark, traditionally not a zone team, but this year they've been predominantly playing a couple of variations of zone defense as Augusto ends up with the basketball. And back to Martinez. Reds get set. Pretty good crowd here tonight at Newark. And baseline jumper, Augusto, no good. Aiden Elliott fighting for it. It looks like King might have undercut it a little bit. No call.
Yeah, Coach Couperis is not happy about that because that's exactly what he was calling for.
And a 30-second timeout on the floor. Want a great meal while pinching a penny? Come to Penny's Place Restaurant in the Liberty Plaza between Seneca Falls and Waterloo. And Jimmer's Auto on Fall Street in Seneca Falls offers a full inventory of late model cars, trucks, and minivans. Check out their inventory online at jimmersauto.com. I think a pretty good start for the Blue Devils. I was at the first game, what was it, on December 7th. Newark won 64-43 at Arthur L. Baker, and right from the start you could tell that these Minders kids were a little nervous, feeling a little overmatched, and it was never much of a game. Tonight they seem to be coming out with a lot more confidence and composure, and so that bodes well, I think, early here.
Yeah, they look calm and collected. They've moved the ball against the zone, looked for their shots.
And Heron and Smith play catch into the corner for King. Back to Heron. Now Darren Miller with it. All 5 players for Minders right now, not afraid to shoot the three. As a bounce pass through the double team. Heron fights for it, and we have a foul. Looks like they got Heron who was sitting right flat on the court. I don't know how he fouled, but that'll be the first foul of the game, first foul on Heron.
The Reds looking tough defensively on that possession. Hands all over the place.
And Augusto to Adian Elliott. And Reds lucky to keep possession there as Vandermoortel now steps up, takes it into the lane, down onto the block. Blue Devils just collapsed right there on Elliott. And now King, baseline to Miller, back out to Heron, and they're saying that Darren Miller traveled there.
It looks like they got Miller for a walk. I didn't see much. It looked like he maybe pivoted back to the top of the key, but.
So 2-2 early here, 4:58. Jim Sinicropi, Tane Robinson, Jeremy Hunt manning the main camera. Paul Russo on camera 2, our producer for tonight's broadcast, Jason Hunt. Oh, not much room on the baseline there, and he did step on the line, did Devin Augusto, as he tried to walk the tightrope.
And it was a nice job by Darren Miller getting far enough over to cut off that baseline.
A little bit of token pressure from the Reds. Now Miller takes it strong, lays it up and in. Bucket good in the foul.
Yeah, Kyle Martinez did his best to get in the way, but it was up and over for Darren Miller, who's a little slow getting up. Might be nursing that left ankle a little bit, but he's going to stay in and go to the line.
Yeah, Coach Korzeniewski asked him if maybe he wanted to come out after this free throw, but he waved him off.
Looks like he shook it off, a little stinger on his foot.
That's a loss this Minders team couldn't weather.
Oh, I bet.
And he misses a free throw. That's not a good sign for that ankle either. He does look a little tender.
Yeah, and he was slow getting up for sure.
So 4-2. And now inside to Martinez on the block. Back out to Peters. He's going to let a 3-ball go. Back iron no good. Augusto fights for the rebound. And that's swatted away by Bogart out of bounds. Stay with Newark. We got full contingency of Newark fans to our right, Minders fans to our left, and across the way we've got students and some more mostly Newark fans here. As Griffin Heron pushes it up ahead to King. King thought about a corner 3. Instead, he drives into traffic. Back out to Heron. 3-ball on the way. No good. Ball rebounded by Vandermoortel. Up ahead to Kyle Martinez. No substitutions yet in this ball game for either team. It's Augusto with it to Adian Elliott.
Minders so far playing very solid man-to-man defense.
And there comes the top of the key 3 from number 3, Vandermoortel, but a little short.
A little short. Didn't look like he had his legs right underneath him.
So 3:43 to go here in this low-scoring affair. It's 4-2. Blue Devils lead. Jake Smith now to Griffin Heron. Back to Smith. Smith thought about it, finds King. King lets it go, lefty, no good. So Minders 0 for 3 from deep to start this one, rebounded by Vandermoortel. Out to Augusto. Augusto charges right into the freshman, Mike Bogart, offensive foul.
Boy, a nice job by Bogart getting back, getting his feet set, and there was no doubt about that one.
So Minders making the Reds a little uncomfortable early, but not able to capitalize by scoring. They've had a few open threes. Now Coach Korzeniewski's going to the bench. Troy Cabot, freshman, will check in, hoping he can provide some outside shooting. Smith now, what's this? Offensive foul on Bogart. Looks like
might have got him for the illegal screen.
Yep.
A low-scoring affair so far.
3:10 to go. 4-2, and there is Troy Cabot now into the game for Jared King. Still no subs yet for the Reds. Martinez to Vandermoortel on the block to Augusto, stripped by Miller, but he gets it back, and that created some space, but couldn't get the shot over the rim, and now here comes Darren Miller running the point. Finds Smith, thought about a 3-corner. Bogart drives, floater, baseline, no good, but he's fouled.
Aggressive drive to the basket there by Bogart.
I know everybody involved with Mynderse basketball really excited about this kid, Mike Bogart. I think he's one of the younger kids who's playing older than his age. Problem is he's just a freshman.
Yep.
By next year with all this varsity experience, he should be able to take on a much bigger role.
And he's got good size already. It's, around 6 foot, and he's solid too. So, yeah, he should be a player to watch in the years to come for the Blue Devils.
There you go. Bogart makes a free throw. Mynderse now 1 of 3 from the line as Bogart takes a seat. The big ragu, Sal Franzone, checks in. 6'1" senior. That last foul, of course, was Aiden Elliott, just his first. So with 2:38 to go, Blue Devils lead 5-2. Just the type of game the Blue Devils wanted.
Absolutely.
So
we talked about scoring might be difficult for Mynderse, and so if they can keep Newark in a low-scoring game, it only will help them. But there's Mason Vandemortel finally getting a jumper to go down.
So Blue Devils up 1 now, 2:12 to go. Miller up top to Heron. Couple of dribbles, bounce past to Cabot, now to the block, and they just collapse on Miller, but he muscles his way up and lays it in.
Boy, great play by Miller. Physically, muscling his way out of that triple team and going up to score.
Blue Devils by 3. That's 4 for Miller. And now Martinez, corner 3 ball. No, in and out. And Franzone corrals the rebound. Outlets to Cabot, up ahead to Heron. And it looks like Mynderse will reset. And there's Miller going baseline again with a strong move. Can't get it to go. Gets his own rebound, lays it up. He's fouled. Can't get it to go.
Great effort by Darren Miller, the senior, getting his own rebound, going back up. He's going to be a challenge for this Newark Reds team if Mynderse can get him the ball in there at the block.
So that's the second foul on Devin Augusto. As the first sub of the game for the Reds will be Augusto checking out for Josh Green, 6'3" junior. Also for the Blue Devils, Nick Jones checks in for Heron. Jones just a sophomore at 6'1". And then it looks like they're going to give Miller a break after he converts on both free throws, giving the Blue Devils a 5-point lead. Bogart checks in, Miller sits down, and with 1:31 to go in this low-scoring affair, it's Blue Devils by 5. Martinez finds Green. Guarded man-to-man by Bogart. Inside to Martinez, who drops it. Franzone has it. Here he comes. And he gives it away. And now behind the back, Martinez gives it away. And smart move by Cabot, just letting that go out of bounds off of Martinez. And Coach Korzaneski not happy with Franzone's decision there to make like a point guard. Grab the ball, get it to a guard. Let's go.
And I think the big ragu realized that just after he crossed midcourt, tried to stop dribbling and get the ball to a guard.
He is coming off. He had a little cold. He missed their last game. 3 ball on the way and down.
Boy, a good look by the freshman, Cabot.
12-4 Mynderse, 49 seconds left to go. Nick Jones guarded Martinez, top of the key. Finds Green. Now over to Adi and Elliott. Elliott out to Martinez. And now that's Vandemortel. Now he's your scorer. Looks like a little clear out maybe. Now he gives it to Peters. Maybe they'll clear out for him. He drives, pulls up from the foul line, and an offensive foul on Peters.
They get Peters with the push-off.
Wave it off.
Mynderse Blue Devils man-to-man defense has been solid. I think that is the 3rd offensive foul they've drawn in this first quarter.
And now Franzone takes a seat as Miller checks in. And Mynderse will be content to hold for 1 here. Chance to go up double digits with 17 seconds to go. Cabot drives, baseline, stops. Finds Smith, who gets it over to Jones. Jones back to Smith. Smith almost loses it, but Bogart there to scoop it up. 2 seconds to shoot, and Smith lets fly, no good. So at the end of 1 period of play, not a lot of offense, But the Blue Devils lead 12-4. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors with more high school basketball on FingerLakes1.com.
The newest way to save money is also the easiest way to save money. With the new My Gen Perks mobile app from Generations Bank, you get access to thousands of local and national discounts on shopping, dining, travel, and so much more. The savings don't stop there. Generations Bank's Go Premium and Go Preferred checking accounts also include cell phone protection, roadside assistance, and 24/7 Tri-Bureau credit monitoring. Saving money is for everyone. Stop by any Generations office or visit mygenbank.com to open your account today. Member FDIC. Dr. Littlejohn, Dr. Barbie, and their outstanding orthodontic team share a common goal: to ensure the overall wellness of each of their patients through their exceptional orthodontic care. Dr. Rod Littlejohn and Dr. Liz Barbie are proud to support our area high school athletes. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet, Waterloo Thruway Exit 41, Highway 5 and 20 in Seneca Falls. Browse their full Cram-tastic new and used vehicle inventory online at BillCramChevrolet.com.
And welcome back. Second quarter action just underway. That's Mason Vandemortel rising for three. He's fouled by Bogart, the freshman. And now that'll be 3 free throws. Don't want to give him any easy ones the way the Blue Devils have been playing defense.
No, but of course, I mean, Vandemortel is one of those shooters that they want to make sure they're getting a handout on, and that's been one of the keys in this first quarter. Is Mynderse has done a nice job defensively getting out on Vandemortel and Peters having their hands up, forcing them to go into the basket.
So Vandemortel knocks down the first of 3. Misses the second. As Franzone checks back into the game for Bogart, who just picked up his second foul. Finger Lakes Partners Insurance for your life, home, auto, and future. With locations in Geneva, Victor, and Waterloo. Get a free quote online at fingerlakesinsurance.com. And Vandemortel makes good on 2 of 3. Lead down to 6. As now some three-quarter court pressure applied. No problem. Darren Miller with it, drives the lane, up and over, too strong, gets his own rebound, muscles it up, can't get it to go. Iron unkind. And now it's Vandemortel. I think the Reds are going to try to push the tempo a little bit here.
Yep, increase the pace. That's a good idea when you're struggling to score points.
Vandemortel drives, looks like he might have pushed off, no call, back iron, no good. And the battle for the rebound. Good work by Nick Jones, although it's out of bounds off Mynderse. He ripped it away from Adian Elliott. And Elliott, one of the strongest kids on the court.
Yeah, Vandemortel did get away with a little push-off. They called that exact same play on Peters just a minute or two earlier.
Martinez lofts it up for Vandemortel. Now it's Peters by Jones. Hangs and can't get it to go, but a foul. Let's see if they tag Miller or Jones.
Looks like they got Jones with the foul there.
Just the first. And now more free throws for Newark. Bang. First quarter scoring for Mynderse, it was Darren Miller with 6 leading the way, and then Troy Cabot with a 3-pointer. Jared King with 2 and Mike Bogart with 1. And Peters equals his first quarter scoring with those 2 free throws. He's now has 4. And Vandemortel with 2 points in the first quarter. Jake Smith too hard and in and out of the hands of Jones, but he does corral it. Gets it out now to Smith. And now Jones tries a 3, buttons!
A deep 3 by Nick Jones.
15-8, Blue Devils lead. And Josh Green with it as Augusto remains on the bench with those 2 fouls. Kyle Martinez into the paint. Back out top to Vandemortel. Now Peters with it. Peters into the paint. Rises and fires over the top of Cabot and knocks it down.
Nice job by the senior Jaden Peters getting in the lane, a good ball fake and a nice shot.
Peters heating up. 15-10. Jake Smith back to Jones. Jones likes that spot. Nope, not this time. And good work by Adrian Elliott out rebounding the two Mynderse big guys. And then a foul on Franzone.
The Franzone just got tangled up there a little bit with Adrian Elliott. Wasn't trying to commit a foul, just couldn't get away from him.
Hey, speaking of Sal Franzone, his dad's the owner of Cicino's Pizzeria and Restaurant, who's celebrating 22 years in the Finger Lakes with locations in Waterloo, Geneva, and Del Lago Resort. Order online at Cicinos.com. Later in the game, we'll be choosing our Cicino's player of the game. We'll win a gift certificate for a free large pizza, which will come in handy for the upcoming Super Bowl. As Josh Green with nice work to get the shot off but can't finish, and now Griffin Herron pulls it in. And so for Mynderse, it's Herron, Jones, Cabot, Franzone, and Miller. And nice entry pass onto the block, and Miller can't convert. And nice rebound by Josh Green, ripping it away.
I think Adrian Elliott had been able to get his hands on that ball a little bit, was able to alter the shot of Miller a little bit.
Miller really not shooting at a high clip in close. He's gotten some shots. He's had Newark guys draped all over him. Peters for three. Ooh, in and out. Rebounded by Josh Green, though, and Josh Green fouled by Franzone. So that's two fouls on Franzone with 5:06 to go. Cicino's also running a great special. Order for your Super Bowl party between January 28th and February 2nd. The big game's on February 3rd. Get 10% off on your order. They want you to pre-order. It's going to be a busy day for them.
I'll bet.
Great way to save 10%, though.
The only place that my in-laws from Waterloo will order pizza is Cicino's. It's fantastic.
So Green knocks down the first free throw as Nate Seeley checks into the ball game. The 6'4" junior forward. A fine golfer. And Green knocks them both down. So Newark, as close as they've been since the early part of the quarter. Now it's stolen by Peters, but he misses the shot. Now Herron getting chased from behind. Wisely pulls it back.
Good recognition by Herron, noticing that Peters was storming from behind to tip that ball.
Now Cabot. Bounce pass to Herron. Herron back to Cabot. Picks up his dribble. Now Cabot's going to try a three. That shot looked a little flatter than his normal look. Off the rim and out of bounds.
Looked like he might have been a little surprised to be as open as he was. But good ball movement by Mynderse against that Newark zone. They've been getting open looks from that outside.
They sure have. Knocked down a couple more. And, of course, the same could be said for Newark, who has yet to convert on a three-pointer.
Yeah, Newark's been a little bit more aggressive with going to the basket this quarter, getting to the free throw line, is creeping their way back into things.
Geez, I'd say that Newark must have made 9 or 10 threes against that game against Wayne we did a couple weeks ago. None so far tonight. As Blade Case into the game now for Newark, wearing number 23. And Martinez had a clear path to the basket, but the ball got ahead of him and out of bounds, back to Mynderse.
And Newark has been a little sloppy this first half with the ball. They've turned the ball over a couple of times on their own, but also credit to the Blue Devils defense. Nice physical man-to-man pressing defense.
So 4 minutes left to go in this one, second quarter. 15-12 Blue Devils lead. Miller straight to the basket. He's fouled and gets it to go.
Boy, there was not a big hole there for Miller to get through. Nice job, an agile attack to the basket.
So Miller now with 8 points heads to the free throw line. Can tell you about Brad Van Dusen Photography, offering family, senior, and wedding portraits, as well as specializing in photos of area student athletes. Book your appointment at bradvandusenphotography.com. Another miss from the free throw line for Miller. Now he's 2 for 4 in this first half. 5-point Blue Devils lead. There's Green with it. More man-to-man defense for the Blue Devils. Blade Case guarded by Nate Seeley, a couple guys that don't get a lot of minutes for either one of these teams. And now Vandermoor left wide open, and he buries it. I think that they wanted Seeley to switch off that screen, but instead he tried to fight through it, and Vandermortel was left wide open. So there's the first three-pointer of the game for the Blue Devils. And Seeley whips it into Miller. Miller strong, reverse layup, good.
Boy, Darren Miller certainly looks like the strongest, most physical player on the court every time he gets the ball.
Martinez now, corner. Blade Case for three, knocks it down.
Ooh.
Blade Runner.
The quick release.
So just like that, Newark picks up their first two three-pointers of the evening, and it's a one-point game, 19-18 with 3:05 to go.
Yeah, it's scoring really picking up. Mynderse able to hold Newark to just 4 points in the first quarter, and they've already put in 14 with 3 minutes to go here.
Connie's Diner has the ambiance you'll only find in a true diner. Check out their menu at connieswaterloo.com. As you see the Upstate Hoops podcast promo on your screen there, we were supposed to have this Sunday for Gananda Blue Panthers. We were going to have Jaden Castruccini and Andrew Gabbard from the boys, and from the girls' side it was going to be Peyton Daffler and Emma Drake. But because of this weekend's forecast, they're not going to make the drive to our studios in Seneca Falls this week. We're going to do it next week. Still hoping to have the show, though, Sunday morning, every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock on FingerLakes1.com. Might take a look at some sectional standings this Sunday on the show. So Nick Jones, Jared King back into the game. Nate Seeley remains in. Heron's open, lofts it into Miller. Miller off the glass. Bucket good, and the foul.
Darren Miller doing work inside tonight.
Great ball movement by the Devils, and an excellent pass from Heron, getting it up and over the defense and into Miller's hands, who did the rest of the damage.
Yeah, Miller, great job of using his body to seal and just go up and finish.
So that's a second foul on Kyle Martinez. He takes a seat. As it's Vandermortel, Case, Peters, Elliott, and Green. And Miller misses another free throw, his third miss of this first half. 12 points for the senior. Mynderse by 3, 2:36 to go first half. Vandermortel foul line jumper, no good. Seeley corrals it. And now Nick Jones and Griffin Heron play catch. Jones thought about it for a second, picks up his dribble, bounce past to Seeley at the foul line, back out to Jones. Jones guarded tight there by Blade Case at the top of that zone. And now down to Miller on the block. Miller works against a double team, and they're going to say
they're going to get him for a walk. He had a little jump hop in there and just didn't have quite as good of an angle as he's had the last couple possessions when he got the ball inside.
2 minutes ago, first period. Blue Devils lead by 3 as Peters almost lost it. Now he spins, gets right to the basket, can't make it though. And boy, Nate Seeley and Jared King were fighting for that one out of bounds off the Blue Devils. Fresh shot clock, 35 to shoot, 1:49 to go in the half. Jim Sinicropi, Tane Robinson, glad you could be with us on a Friday night here in Newark. Vandermortel for a 3, it's short. Long rebound out to Griffin Heron. And Heron in no hurry with his team up 3. And they're really just focusing on trying to get it down to Darren Miller on the block, but Heron tries a top of the key 3, the Griff Dog for 3.
Heron almost comes up with a steal there. He missed his first couple threes of the game, but knocks down a deep one there.
That was deep, and that caught nothing but net on the way down through. Puts Mynderse back up 6. Now Peters with it, guarded by King. And Peters picked up his dribble a little prematurely. Gets it to Josh Green. Green to Vandermortel. Big size advantage for Vandermortel over Heron. He goes by him, shoots over everybody. Foul line jumper, no good. Nice box out and rebound by Jared King. And we're inside 1 minute now in the second quarter, as the Blue Devils look to extend on that lead. Nick Jones out to King. King inside to Miller out to Jones for three, back iron, no good. And now here come the Reds. It's Jaden Peters. They got another push-up on Peters. I don't know if I agree with that one.
Yeah, that one was quick, and I didn't see a whole lot of arm extension.
And that will be the second foul on Peters, I believe, although they put it up on the scoreboard as that foul was on number 21. But Anthony Wright, who wears 21 for Newark, not in the game right now. I'm going to assume that's Peters' second foul. And now the Blue Devils can hold for one. Shot clock should be off, but it's not. Now they turned it off. 26 seconds in the half. Blue Devils can, if they hold for one, will go into the locker room up at least 6. Bogart back in the game. Jones, Heron, Cabot, and King. And now Nick Jones. Now Bogart with 10 seconds on the shot clock tries a three, and it's no good, and Newark will have a chance. I don't like that shot at all.
A little bit too much time left on the clock.
2 seconds left. Well, they're not going to get a good one. Peters lets it go, and it's no good. And the Mynderse Blue Devils taking it to the homestanding Newark Reds early, allowing just 18 first half points. And we'll go into the halftime locker room with the score. Mynderse 24, Newark 18. We'll be back
Check
with the
out
Bill Cram
Generations
Chevrolet
Go
halftime show.
Premium and Go Preferred checking accounts with MyGen Perks. Visit mygenbank.com to open your account today. Little John Orthodontics are proud to support our area high school athletes. Visit them online at littlejohnortho.com.
This live presentation of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball on fingerlakes1.com is made possible thanks to the support from Marshall Exteriors. Are you looking for a contractor to give you a new roof, siding, windows, or other exterior home project? Marshall Exteriors is your one-stop source for all of your home's exterior needs. Check out their website at marshallsexteriorsny.com, but don't forget they finish basements too. While you're talking with them, ask about their new Everlast Garage. This thing is amazing. It's a Wonderful Run 5K. It's a winter run like no other through the streets of Seneca Falls, the town that inspired Frank Capra's holiday classic, It's a Wonderful Life. Learn more and register at itsawonderfulrun5k.com. Cicino's Pizzeria and Restaurant, celebrating 22 years in the Finger Lakes with locations at 22 Main Street in Waterloo, 40 Exchange Street in Geneva, and Del Lago Resort and Casino. Dine in, take out, delivery, catering, and banquets. Order online at cicinos.com. Live, laugh, and eat well. It's the Italian way. Brad Van Dusen Photography is a full-service photographer serving the Finger Lakes region, offering family, senior, and wedding portraits, also specializing in sports photos, collages, banners, and other keepsakes for your student-athlete. For more information, find Brad on Facebook or visit bradvandusenphotography.com or visit bvdsports.com. Penny's Place Family Restaurant, located on 5 and 20 in the Liberty Plaza between Seneca Falls and Waterloo. Well known for their large portions and home-cooked meals, a large selection of breakfast items, and everything from burgers, salads, and wraps for lunch. If you want a great meal while pinching a penny, come to Penny's Place. Jimmer's Auto offers a full inventory of late model cars, trucks, and minivans. Check out their full inventory online at jimmersauto.com. And for service, visit Stever's Garage on Fall Street in Seneca Falls. Jimmer's Auto and Stever's Garage, strong supporters of local high school athletes for over 40 years. The Omen Theater in Lyons, the most modern theater in the Finger Lakes, is also the oldest theater in the U.S. See what's playing at omentheater.com. Red's Place in downtown Seneca Falls, locally owned for 42 years and serving great lunches Monday through Friday from 11:30 to 2 p.m. Wednesday night is wing night with 60-cent wings in 10 different varieties. For over 65 years, the Wilson Press and Mail House has been serving Central New York as commercial printers with a full-service mail house specializing in offset and digital printing, graphic design services, full mail house services, marketing and advertising plans, and fundraising programs. Call them today at 315-568-9693 or visit them online at wpress.com. Connie's Diner on Main Street in Waterloo has the ambiance you will only find in a true diner. Let the Cardazola family serve your next breakfast, lunch, or dinner from their vast menu of time-tested favorites and original recipes. Visit them online at connieswaterloo.com. The Newark Pilots and Geneva Red Wings of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. Your major league connection with 7 players drafted last season. The Downtown Deli in Seneca Falls, where half is like a whole. Giant deli sandwiches, subs, daily lunch specials, and homemade soups, chili, and mac and cheese that will warm up even the coldest winter day. Also, try their famous paninis or star sandwiches. Check them out online at sfdowntowndeli.com.
It's Big Truckin' Deals here at Bill Cram Chevrolet. Check out this cram-tastic inventory for big truckin' deals. Whatever truck you're looking for, we've got the inventory. Trucks for towing, trucks for family, trucks for work, and trucks for fun. Whatever you're into, we've got a big truckin' deal waiting for you. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet, Waterloo Exit 41, Highway 5 and 20 in Seneca Falls. See all our truckin' deals at BillCramChevrolet.com.
Welcome back to Newark, everybody. It's time for the Bill Cram Chevrolet Halftime Report. I'm Jim Sinicropi alongside Tane Robinson, our production team of Jeremy Hunt, Paul Russo, and Jason Hunt tonight. Hey there, Jeremy on the screen right behind me over my shoulder, enjoying some Swedish fish during halftime. And Tane, 24-18. Again, the Blue Devils coming here in a 3-game losing streak with a 5-7 record. The Reds come in at 9-2. The Reds, the home team, after beating Mynderse the first meeting 64-43 in Seneca Falls in early December. Everything pointing to a Reds victory, but it's the Blue Devils up by 6.
Well, I mean, we talked about it in pregame that Mynderse was going to need to be tough defensively and try and slow down the scoring of Newark's big two of Vandermortel and Peters, and they've done a nice job of that, holding Newark to only 4 points in that first quarter, and it's just been really good man-to-man defense. We've seen the Newark guards getting a little frustrated by it. We've seen some turnovers by Kyle Martinez because of the ball pressure. We've seen a couple of push-off fouls on Jaden Peters when he's trying to get some separation. We almost saw Vandermortel get hit with a push-off foul, and so credit to Mynderse defensively. And then on the other side of the floor, Mynderse is doing a pretty good job on the offensive end. They're getting the ball in to their big senior leader, Darren Miller, and he's been real tough and physical around the glass, doing a nice job of finishing, making some free throws, getting fouled. And the other guard is doing a nice job of knocking down some threes, so making it so that you can't completely collapse on Miller. And so it's been a nice balanced effort by this Blue Devil squad so far.
Yeah, for the Blue Devils, it's Darren Miller leading the way with 12 points, 6 points in each of the first 2 quarters. And then it's 3 points each for Heron, Jones, and Cabot on 3-pointers. Jared King with 2. That's 24. For Newark, just 4 first quarter points, 14 in the second quarter to give them 18. It's Mason Vandermortel with 7, Jaden Peters with 6, Blade Case with a 3-pointer, and Josh Green with 2. So both of these teams really long shots to capture the Finger Lakes East title at this point, but the nice thing about high school basketball is everybody's in sectionals, and Newark certainly a favorite in Class B1 as we take a look at the standings through, what would this be, Wednesday night? Greece Odyssey just
defending
lost.
Champs, right?
Well, last year it was just Class B.
Okay.
And they won Class B after beating Mynderse in the semifinals at Marcus Whitman High School, and they went on to capture that Class B title. So this year, B1 and B2, which means the Finger Lakes East teams are getting split up. So, Newark in great position with that win over Geneva on Tuesday night. And what we always hope for in Class B especially is an all Finger Lakes East final, or maybe 2 or 3 teams in a semifinal matchup in Class B. And it could happen this year with the serious contenders of Newark, Geneva, and Waterloo. Kind of an unfamiliar consideration for postseason play as of recent history, but this year for sure it's 7-5, and actually they got another win last night against Palmac to gain a few more points. And then even I think Mid Lakes is playing better. They're down there at 9th, in the standings, but they've been playing a little better of late. You can't count them out in elimination play. But Odyssey is the class, I think, of the section. They should be number 1 seed if things continue as they have. Hornell's always tough. And Greece Olympia beat Waterloo twice badly this year. Batavia a little bit down this year, but traditionally a strong program, as is Livonia. So pretty wide open in Class B1. Good chance, I think, for Newark. Now, for B2, Wellsville, that's a team that Minders beat in the semifinals, or in the quarterfinals in last year's Class B tournament. They return almost everybody, a really talented team, currently the top team. But, you look at Penn Yan at 3. Minders is way down there at 7, but I know if you're Minders, especially if they play defense like they have tonight, that they could beat any of those top 7 teams, with the exception of, maybe Wellsville. They'll have to continue to improve, but even Minders here in this down year with a 5-7 record and at 7th place still can realistically make a run at a sectional title.
Absolutely. And, these young players for Minders, the freshman Bogart doing a nice job, Jake Smith in that first quarter, Jared King doing a really good job of playing with confidence. And so not every shot was going down, but they were taking good looks, and they didn't look out of place at all on the basketball court.
Hey, don't miss the Fresh Takes podcast every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. and call 1-866-315-FLX1, extension 804, to call into the show, leave a message. I ask them a question, anything sports related. As second half action underway here in Newark with Minders up 6. And Smith lost it in there to Miller, and we got a jump ball, so that'll be Newark basketball. Tough pass by Smith. Miller went up and grabbed it. They called Miller for a lot of travels, and that was one that I didn't see. But, of course, we're way up here. Perfect accommodations at midcourt, thanks to athletic director here at Newark, Chris Corey. One of the most comfortable places for us here at Finger Lakes 1 to bring you a basketball game as Peters tries a 3-ball, knocks it down.
Boy, and they could have called an and one there as there was some contact after that 3.
9 points for Peters. Minders lead down to 3 and a kicked basketball. As we get Devin Augusto back in the game. He's been out since late first quarter when he picked up his second foul. Jaden Peters also playing with 2, as is Kyle Martinez. For the Blue Devils, Bogart and Franzone with 2 fouls apiece. As Jake Smith gets it to Heron, and now we got another foul. Mike Padula's blowing that whistle. I mean, Padula's probably blown the whistle 4 times as we get a replay of Peters' 3 here.
They're calling a lot of fouls away from the ball.
Yeah,
tonight.
I think Padula's called the foul. We've blown the whistle at least 4 times every one time that his partner McElroy has, and this time no call as Miller muscles it up and in.
Nice job by Miller there, not putting the ball on the ground.
Now Miller has 14. Quickly the other way comes Newark. Martinez was open for 3, but the pass off the mark. Now he drives it and gets it to the corner to Vandemortel. And Augusto working against Bogart. Strong take, but can't finish. Here comes Heron. He's got Smith with him. He pulls up. He looks at the 3, gives it up for King. That previous foul on Newark was on Adrian Elliott, his second.
And good hands by Adrian Elliott on that possession. He's able to knock the ball out of Miller's hands.
So that's Elliott with a basketball over to Peters. Peters with a contested 3. Back iron, no good. And wow, Adrian Elliott right up over King. Could have been flagged for his 3rd foul there. No call.
Yeah, King had good position and went up, but Elliott just went up a little bit higher.
Peters guarded by Smith. Oh, great pass from Peters inside to Kyle Martinez for Martinez's first points of the night, and that lead back to 3.
Heron and Bogart trying to switch on that pick. A little bit of miscommunication, and Martinez got free.
Jared King working against that Newark zone. Jake Smith tries a 3-ball, rattles it home.
Big answer by Smith.
Smith, the 4th Blue Devil to strike gold from long range tonight. His first points of the game. And the lead back up to 6. And now Vandemortel tries a 3, short, right into the hands of Bogart, hands it off to Smith. 5:16 to go in this one. Blue Devils looking for the upset. They lead by 6. Smith back to Heron. Guarded by Peters at the top of that 2-3 zone. And Smith bounces it into Miller, who controls it. Works up against Peters and off the glass and in.
Boy, that was a tough angle for Darren Miller, too.
8-point lead for Mynderse. Matches their biggest lead of the game. And that ball out of bounds. It'll stay with Newark with 20 seconds to shoot. The Downtown Deli in Seneca Falls, where a half is like a whole. Check out their menu at sfdowntowndeli.com. And now that's Augusto. Vandemortel to Peters. Peters, fadeaway, no good. Shot clock expires. And into the hands of Darren Miller. Peters used to have long flowing hair last year. Got it cut when his grandmother promised him a puppy if he cut his hair. So that's the story behind it.
Did he get the puppy?
He did. Can't remember the name. I thought they might have named it Havrilla, but no. Miller spins. Can't get it to go. Wow, that would have been a big one. But they'll head to the line with a chance to give Mynderse their biggest lead of the game. I think, what was that dog's name?
Sonny?
Sonny, yeah. Jeremy Hunt seems to think it's Sonny. But I don't have any pictures of the puppy either. But that's the story why he cut his hair. He used to have long hair. I got a haircut too. I don't know if you noticed, Tony.
I did not.
Got my hair cut yesterday. Miller misses the first free throw, and he has been pretty cold from the charity stripe, hitting just 2 of 5. When you're trying to pull the upset, you can use as many of these as you can convert, and he does convert on that one. So 5 third-quarter points. He has 17 on the ball game. Biggest lead of the night for the Blue Devils, 32-23, 3:52 to go.
The Newark Reds offensively running, looks like a little bit of a flex offense, trying to get some cuts inside and cause some picking and switching.
Now Martinez with it. Josh Green into the game for the Reds. Coach Couperis. That's Green with the basketball, guarded by Bogart. Nothing but man-to-man from the Blue Devils tonight. And almost a steal by King. Now Peters from the baseline, no good. Vandemortel up over the back of Heron, gets the rebound, and a tough shot. A little floater from about 6 feet from Mason Vandemortel. He has 9. Heron to King. King steps up, left-handed 3.
Oh.
Mark it down! 10-point lead for Mynderse.
King knocking it down with confidence.
Kyle Martinez to Peters. Inside 3 minutes now to go, third period of play. Blue Devils by 10. Green into the paint. Blocked by Bogart. Gets it up ahead to King. And King controls it, pulls it back out, gives it to Miller into the middle of the lane. He might have been going up for the dunk there. Ball knocked out, and we got a foul, actually. Like they're going to get Martinez.
An ambitious drive and play attempt by Miller as he was going to take off a step or two from the free throw line.
So that's the third foul on Kyle Martinez, the starting point guard for the Reds. And Miller misses another free throw. So with that miss, he is now 3 of 6. And now Jake Smith and Bogart check out. Cabot and Franzone check in. 2:38 to go. Miller with a free throw to give the Blue Devils an 11-point lead, and he knocks it down. 36-25, 2:35 to go. And boy, Heron tipped it off the foot.
And Gavin Buck,
Yeah, Buck
just checked in for Martinez.
Turned it right over. And we got a timeout on the floor with your Blue Devils leading the Reds 36-25. For over 65 years, Wilson Press has been serving Central New York as a commercial printer with a full-service mail house. Get in touch with them online at wpress.com. And the most modern theater in the Finger Lakes is also the oldest in America. See what's playing at the Omen Theater online at omentheater.com. Downtown Lions and Reds Place, serving great lunches daily in downtown Seneca Falls. And every Wednesday is 60-cent wing night. They call it the Men's Hall of Fame, Tony, right across the street from the National Women's Hall of Fame in downtown Seneca Falls.
I still haven't made a trip out there, and I hope to at some point. But I tell you, I have seen some movies at the Oman Theater, and there is no better place to take your family for like a classic movie atmosphere, and but with a lot of modern conveniences too.
Yeah.
It is, if you have not been there, that is an experience well worth taking your family to.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that that's not going to be a modern experience, but it is. You're going to just like going to any movie theater except
Great
better.
sound, great picture, but then all the ambiance of a classic theater.
Yep, fantastic. And so, of course, we want to thank all our sponsors that make our coverage of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball possible on Finger Lakes 1. So 2:26 to go. Blue Devils by 11 with the basketball. Heron with it, guarded by Buck. Picked up his dribble, gets it over to King now. 19 seconds to shoot. King leaves it for Cabot. Cabot thought about a deep three. We got a whistle. And looks like they're going to get Vandemortel. And with just 10 seconds on the shot clock.
And Darren Miller wincing a little bit. So I'm wondering if that's what was called, some type of contact between the two of them.
It looks like they might have gotten a little below the belt. Maybe just a glancing blow.
Possibly.
Referee Mark McElroy. McElroy working hard tonight, too. He had a cyst removed from his knee the other night. He was also calling the Lions Gonzaga game on Tuesday night. We did. Now here comes Jared King. Oh, off the back iron, no good. Pulled down by Augusto. And here comes Newark with 2 minutes to go here in the third period. Gavin Buck in for Martinez, playing with those 3 fouls. Tries to shuffle it inside to Green, and we got a whistle.
I thought they might get Buck with a walk there.
Instead, it's Griffin Heron picking up his. We're saying it's his first foul. I thought that was his second, but just one on Heron. Okay. And now Mason Vandemortel out to Peters. Peters struggled to get on pace tonight. And now Green to the corner to Buck. Drives baseline up and over. King can't get it to go. Rebound off of Green's fingertips and into the hands of the sophomore guard Jared King, as the freshman Mike Bogart gets set to check in here with 1:25 to go. Minders basketball up 11. Win that this Minders Blue Devil team could really use, and would really be a crushing defeat for the Reds coming off their big win against Geneva. And now Heron to the corner. Cabot, 3-ball, in and out. And another rebound by Vandemortel. So 1 minute to go here, third period, way up ahead. Vandemortel to Green, and Franzone fouled him as he misses the chippy. Could have easily been a three-point play opportunity there, but instead it'll be 2 free throws for Green.
It was a nice job by Vandemortel recognizing that Josh Green had run the floor. And I think if Newark's going to get back into things, that's going to be one of the things that they have to do, which is try and push the tempo and get up and down the floor a little bit quicker.
So big free throws for Green here. We got exactly 1 minute to go in the quarter. Boy, that wasn't even close.
No.
Yikes. So we'll give it another shot. And that one's out and rebounded by Miller. Got a score report from back in Seneca Falls where it's the Minders girls taking on the Newark girls, and Minders girls up 31-22. Yeah, 31-22.
And then you get Cabot with the walk there. And as he lost his footing, tried to make a pass and tried to pull it back. Wasn't able to do so without the travel.
So Heron takes a seat. Miller also takes a seat. That's a third foul on Sale Franzone. And Mynderse clinging to that 11-point lead here. They've been unable to extend it for several possessions, but Newark also unable to cut into it. Vandemortel, though, finally with a little floater from about 6 feet. And Vandemortel, that puts him into double digits. And the shot clock off here in the third quarter, and that's the last thing that the Blue Devils needed. Gavin Buck now taking it to the hole. Can't get it to go. Can't really agree with that shot by Buck either, man.
Hey, you got the steal, hold for the last shot.
Yep, so now Blue Devils with another opportunity. And King drives, and he's tripped up, and we got a foul on Buck.
Good sportsmanship by Buck there, immediately reaching down and picking up Jared King.
So first foul on Gavin Buck. So there's 4.4 seconds to go. Mynderse up 9, 36-27. And with 4 seconds to go, King doesn't, he lets it go, and that's not even close. The shot, the game clock expires. And at the end of 3 periods of play, can the Blue Devils pull the upset in Newark? 36-27, they lead. We'll be right back after this for the final quarter of play.
The newest way to save money is also the easiest way to save money. With the new My Gen Perks mobile app from Generations Bank, you get access to thousands of local and national discounts on shopping, dining, travel, and so much more. The savings don't stop there. Generations Bank's Go Premium and Go Preferred checking accounts also include cell phone protection, roadside assistance, and 24/7 Tri-Bureau credit monitoring. Saving money is for everyone. Stop by any Generations office or visit mygenbank.com to open your account today. Member FDIC. Dr. Littlejohn, Dr. Barbie, and their outstanding orthodontic team share a common goal: to ensure the overall wellness of each of their patients through their exceptional orthodontic care. Dr. Rob Littlejohn and Dr. Liz Barbie are proud to support our area high school athletes. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet, Waterloo Thruway Exit 41, Highway 5 and 20 in Seneca Falls. Browse their full Cram-tastic new and used vehicle inventory online at BillCramChevrolet.com.
And fourth quarter action underway, and it's Troy Cabot keeping possession for the Blue Devils. Out to King. It's Bogart, Cabot, Jones, Franzone. And almost a steal. Now Mynderse should have numbers, but no, King loses it. And now Newark has numbers. It's Augusto. Shuffles it inside to Josh Green, who lays it up and in.
Well, they're lucky they got away with getting a layup there, as Augusto really late making that pass.
And now we got a timeout on the floor. And, man, young, Coach Korzeniewski coming back with some youngsters for that beginning of the fourth quarter. Let's see if he changes his lineup maybe going forward. So it's 36-29.
We get a look at our athletic director, Chris Corey of Newark, one of our gracious hosts. Did a nice job coming up to check in, make sure we were all set up here.
He does a great job. The only thing I disagree with him on is that I think that Newark and Lions should play once a year, a home and home, every other year alternating. They're the number 1 and 2 most winningest programs in Section 5 since 1975. And they've played once in the last 50 years.
That'd be an unbelievable game. Just
especially this year.
Neighbors, too.
Yeah, I mean, they're neighboring communities. It's crazy. I think it's crazy. Of course, Lions a Class C team. And
sure, so there's
Newark,
a little bit more of an
heck?
advantage to Lions for that matchup.
Just for sectional points, but, man, I don't know. That's the type of game the kids that played in it would remember for the rest of their lives.
So Newark really extending this zone defense and trapping a little bit.
Oh, a trip on Peters. That's his third foul. So Jake Smith getting set to check in now for Mynderse. Let's see who he comes in for. It's Cabot.
And Newark has shifted to more of a 1-2-2 or 1-3-1, where they're looking to really extend and put some pressure on the guards.
Starters in for Mynderse right now. Smith, Heron, Bogart, King, and Miller, and Bogart works into the lane and lets a floater go way too hard. Rebounded by Peters. And 7:02 to go here in this one. Mynderse looking to hold on, pull the upset. It's Gavin Buck, bounce pass to Peters. Josh Green. And back to Buck, bounce pass into the block to Augusto. He muscles his way up, but he's fouled on, I think it was Herron with the foul coming over to help from behind. No, it wasn't. It was Bogart. So that's Bogart's third. So 3 fouls on Bogart, 3 fouls on Peters, 3 fouls on Franzone for Mynderse, and 3 fouls on Kyle Martinez for Newark. And as Martinez about to check back in, also noticed Nicholas Bernardi hasn't played yet today for the Reds. He usually sees some time. He's on the bench, still wearing his warm-up as Augusto gets the free throw to go. That's Devin Augusto's first point of the game. He had 11 against Geneva on Tuesday night.
And he's been in and around the rim a lot tonight, but struggled to put the ball in the basket.
And he misses that one, but an offensive rebound by Josh Green in the middle of 4 Blue Devils.
And not surprisingly, Coach Korzaneski not happy about that.
When you're trying to cling to this lead and pull the upset, you don't want to give him second chances, because that's what will happen. Although he missed the layup, gets his own rebound back, and now we got a jump ball. Yep, jump ball. Darren Miller tied him up. It'll stay with Newark, though.
Good hands by Darren Miller.
So 36, 25 to go, 18 seconds to shoot for Newark. And they try to get it inside to, they got a foul on Miller. Kind of looked like Green kind of ran into Miller, but.
Green did run into Miller, and the pass was offline. Miller was moving towards to catching the ball.
Mynderse still looking to score their first points of this quarter. And now way up ahead, it's Vandemortel to Buck, who hands it off to Martinez. Martinez guarded man-to-man by Griffin Herron. Buck inside to Vandemortel. Now we got a foul on Jake Smith trying to guard the bigger Vandemortel on the block. Just the second foul on Smith. That is the 5th team foul on the Blue Devils. Fresh shot clock, ball inbound to Vandemortel. Augusto, floater from about 5 feet, no good, but man, is Josh Green working hard on the boards or what for the Reds? And now he'll head back to the free throw line.
Like the 3rd or 4th offensive rebound, it feels like, on this, in this possession as the ball's been down here, and we've just had fouls.
Second foul on Darren Miller. Chance to cut into that lead with 6 minutes to go. And it finally looks like the Blue Devils are tightening up a little bit. Seemed like they were applying the pressure to the Reds. It seems like the tables have turned a little bit here in this 4th period as Mynderse has that upset in sight. The Reds are starting to play a little harder, and the Blue Devils starting to look a little shaky. So it's a 4-point lead, full court pressure for the young Blue Devils, and Jake Smith collides, and they got a travel. Coach Korzaneski does not like that call.
Well, there was a lot of contact there.
That's a tough one. I don't think Smith knew where he was going. I couldn't tell if he had possession or not, but I usually think that would be either a block or charge call, but instead, after the collision, the ball just went out of bounds. Now it's back to Newark with a chance to make it a 1-possession game. Augusto, Martinez way up top to Green, and now it's Augusto back to Martinez. 17 seconds to shoot.
And
what's this whistle?
They're going to get Griffin Herron away from the ball as he was tangled up with Mason Vandemortel. A lot of contact back and forth. Vandemortel getting frustrated, pushing it at Herron, and Herron pushing back and a little bit tangled up.
Second foul on Herron. That's going to be free throws for Vandemortel. And Coach Korzaneski having words with referee Mike Padula. And, you know, you're right, Ty. When's the last time the ball has been to our left on your screen?
Oh, my goodness. To start this fourth quarter, the ball has just been down here at the Newark Reds.
I'd say it's – I might have to review the tape later, but I'd say it's at least 2 minutes of game time that ball, except for that one time Smith brought it just over the half-court stripe before turning it over. The ball's been on the Newark Reds' end. And now Vandermortel, free throws, 1-on-1.
Chipping away at that lead.
So Vandermortel with 12 now, and the lead down to 3. Second free throw coming up. And he knocks him down. Crowd comes alive. Full court pressure from the Reds. It's Darren Miller with it. Bouncing it over to Heron, up ahead to Smith. Had numbers for a moment. Now they'll reset here with 23 seconds to shoot. They're up 2. And boy, he's getting bumped out by the midcourt line was Heron. And now Heron drives with 15 seconds over to Smith. Smith way up top to King. And what do we got now? Timeout. Minders. So they'll have 11 seconds to shoot after the timeout.
And Newark's half-court trap really causing some problems for those young Minders guards, as Devin Augusto is really doing a good job on the top of that zone, being big and creating difficult passing lanes by getting his hands up and pressuring the guards.
Coach Couper is talking to his troops. As so far, the Blue Devils still have yet to score here in this fourth period. We're just got 5:08 to go in the ball game. As we get a look at our upcoming live webcast, I mentioned the Upstate Hoops podcast. We're going to have Gananda kids in studio. That'll be the following Sunday, January 27th, because of this weekend's weather forecast. We still hope to have a show, but the Blue Panthers will be in the following week. And then next Thursday night, we'll be on the air at the Jack Guinan Arena for a matchup of the 2018 Class C2 Girls Championship game between Red Jacket and South Seneca. Red Jacket's Sarah Van Aken scored her 1,000th point on Wednesday night. She's been lighting it up lately as the Lady Indians have been playing better. Key Finger Lakes West matchup there. Then another Finger Lakes East game on January 29th. It's Wayne at Geneva, followed by that Friday night doubleheader in Minders, Waterloo Minders girls boys doubleheader. But 5:08 remaining here. Blue Devils holding on to a 2-point lead, could really use a bucket here. They haven't scored yet in the fourth. Heron picks up his dribble, skips it to Smith, lets a free ball go. It's in and out, but after the shot clock expired. And now Newark with the basketball and a chance to tie or take the lead. Jaden Peters checks in for Gavin Buck. And here comes Martinez, and this is where the experience of the Reds should show late in games as Martinez drives baseline, can't get it to go. Another offensive rebound, though, for the Reds as Peters blocked by Miller right into the hands of Bogart, and now the Blue Devils have another chance to make it a two-possession game.
Block by Miller.
And King for 3, no. And another rebound for Green. Yeah, Miller came out of nowhere. I thought it was an easy layup for Peters to tie the game, but man, those long arms of Darren Miller. And now Green to Vandermortel. Out to Martinez. He drives, picks up his dribble, back to Vandermortel, thought about a 3. Gets it to Jaden Peters. 14 to shoot. He drives down the middle, and he is fouled, hit hard. And there'll be 2 shots coming for Jaden Peters, chance to tie this ball game up. And that's the 3rd foul on Heron. And it looks like Peters is okay.
On the offensive end, the Reds have been doing a better job of being a little bit more patient, waiting until Darren Miller has been pulled away from the basket a little bit before they look to attack. And I think that's part of the reason they've been coming down with so many second chance opportunities and getting offensive rebounds, because Miller's getting pulled out to show for a guard.
And so now Peters with a chance to tie this ball game up at 36 with 4:01 to go, and he does. 9 2-0 here in the fourth quarter.
Ooh.
Newark is coming back against the Blue Devils. They break the press. Mynderse looking for their first points of the fourth quarter still. Heron might have had a chance at 3 instead. Dribbles to the lane, lets one go from inside the foul line and knocks it down. The Blue Devils back on top.
Blue Devils desperately needed that one.
Now Kyle Martinez to Green, who's played a lot of minutes here in the second half for Newark. Been getting a lot of rebounds as well. Peters over to Martinez. And we had Vandermortel and King battling, and they flagged King for the foul. Just the first foul on Jared King, but more free throws coming. And same situation, 2 free throws tie the game for Newark. We now have 3:23 to go. Here's Vandermortel. Eyes the rim, and no good. And boy, Franzone, Franzone's got to grab that rebound.
Yep.
He had perfect position. He just kind of went at it half-heartedly, and luckily Green tapped it out of bounds. So Mynderse basketball. We have more full court pressure coming from Newark. Mynderse leads by 2. They get it into Heron. Heron pushing it up ahead, gets it over the timeline. Thought about a 3, takes a 3. The Griff Dog from long range.
Griffin.
5-point lead.
Griffin Heron stepping up big on the offensive end.
Coach Korzenetsky wanted him to shoot. And we got a 5-second call. Coach Padula, or referee Mike Padula. I was saying Coach Korzenetsky has been urging Heron to shoot more. And as of late, he stepped up, played like the upperclassman he is, knocked down a couple of huge shots. Actually, the only points for Mynderse here in the fourth. They lead by 5 again, 2:53 to go. Now 25 to shoot. All of a sudden, the Blue Devils not in any major hurry. And there's Darren Miller. That's where you want to get it, but he can't get the shot to go. Good defense by Vandermortel, out of bounds, and it'll be Newark Reds basketball.
Yeah, Mason Vandermortel able to go up and contest Miller's shot. Send it back to him.
Timeout on the floor can tell you about Marshall Exteriors. Your one-stop source for all your home's exterior needs. Check out their website at marshallexteriorsny.com. And be sure to stay tuned for our Little John Orthodontics post-game show, Smiles with Style post-game show, where we'll have our player of the game up. And too early to pick our player of the game with 2:39 to go, Tani, but a lot of people making a bid. Darren Miller being the leading scorer right now for the Blue Devils, but Griffin Heron stepping up and hitting the big shots.
Absolutely.
For Newark, it's really been a balanced effort. Vandermortel with 13 of the Reds' points, Peters with 11, Josh Green with 4 big fourth quarter points, and here come the Reds. They're down 5 with 2:37 to go. And speaking of tied games, they're tied in Seneca Falls as well between the Lady Blue Devils and the Lady Reds. And we have another timeout.
Looks like Newark's going to take a full timeout. Well, the Mynderse defense has still been pretty stout in this fourth quarter. Newark's been able to creep back in a little bit by getting to the free throw line, but field goals have still been tough to come by for the Reds tonight.
They had outscored the Blue Devils 9-0 in the fourth period before Griffin Heron scores 5 straight points to give Mynderse that lead back. As it stands now, 41-36 with 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Not going to get many awards for offensive output tonight, but I think the thing that most impresses me about the way the Blue Devils have played today is they showed toughness, which has been something I think they've lacked a little bit as a younger team. And their man-to-man defense has been outstanding, really.
It's been excellent. And you're right, they have shown a level of toughness. They've been fiery, out and competing with those Newark seniors, not intimidated at all. And it's shaping up to be an exciting finish here.
So the Reds come back with Green, Vandermortel, Augusto, Peters and Martinez. For Minders, it's the Big Ragu, Sal Franzone, Griffin Herron, Mike Bogart, Jared King, and Darren Miller. And it's screened inbound from the far sideline. And he's got to get it in. He does. Vandemortel rises, fires off the glass. No good, but a foul. If that's on Griffin Herron, that's his 4th. And it is. So 4 fouls on Herron. And Jake Smith ready to check back in for Minders. I don't know if they'll take out Herron, though, or not with 2:27 to go. Vandemortel gets the first free throw to go. He's now made 4 straight free throw attempts. And no, it's Bogart checking out for Minders, so more second free throw, rolls in and out, rebounded by Griffin Herron, who brings it up, and Minders up 4, 2:21 to go. It's Jared King. Back to Herron. We got a foul on Augusto.
Yep, nice job by King there, taking a couple of dribbles to bring Augusto over, drawing the foul.
3 fouls on Augusto. And now Jared King, a couple of big free throws coming up for the sophomore. I mean, Minders can hold on to this win, a huge win for this team, who's really been struggling this year. It's King makes the first free throw.
Yeah, you got to think it would just be a great confidence boost for the young guys in this squad to come over here, avenge a real tough loss from earlier in the season.
2 big free throws for Jared King, lead up to 6, 2:15 to go. And yeah, we looked at those B2 standings, Tony, and there isn't a team in there that this Minders team can't compete with, but they need the confidence to believe it.
Boy.
And speaking of confidence, Mason Vandemortel, big shot.
The senior Vandemortel, right when his team needed it.
6 fourth quarter points. They now lead by 3. The freshman Bogart, baseline.
Ill-advised shot by Bogart, fading away.
Vandemortel leaves it for Green, turns it over. Miller has the basketball. Back to Minders, and King looks to push it. They have numbers. King straight to the hole. Oh, boy, out of control. A couple terrible shots by a couple of young Blue Devils late in this game. Now Peters thought about a 3. He
They're gonna
traveled.
get him for the walk.
So now Jake Smith checking into the game. And, yeah, I mean, that's inexperience. You got a couple of underclassmen. You have the lead, time running out.
Take some time on the shot clock, and I'm sure that's what Coach Korzenski's telling the young guy Bogart there is, hey, come on, run a little bit of clock. Let's make sure we take a good shot.
So fresh shot clock for Minders. 1:30 to go in the ball game. King gives it to Miller. That's where the ball needs to be, I think, in the hands of Darren Miller at this point. King over to the corner to Smith. Smith baseline, leaves it for Miller. Miller, he couldn't convert with the left hand, but he's going to shoot free throws.
Beautiful inside pass by Jake Smith after he drove to the basket. Just little handoff almost to Darren Miller after he got his guy up in the air.
And, you know, Jake Smith just a sophomore too, but he plays with a lot of composure as we look him there handing off to Miller. For just a sophomore, he plays with a lot of composure. And Miller with a big free throw makes it back to a 2-possession game for the Blue Devils. It's Miller's first points of the 4th quarter. He has 19 on the night, looking to make it 20 and make the lead 5, and he can as it rolls in and out into the hands of Devin Augusto. 1:16 to play. Newark trails by 4. Gavin Buck with the basketball. Picks up his dribble, and they get it to Vandemortel. And that's where they want it, although Miller taps it away. Bogart has it. He's going to the basket, and Coach Korzenski called a timeout.
Decision by Coach Korzenski.
He wasn't going to let one of those youngsters make another mistake.
We're going to take some time and make sure we run 35 seconds off the clock.
I'll tell you, the thing about that, though, is Bogart had a clear path to the basket, but I can't argue with Coach K for that one.
I mean, Peters was chasing him down from behind, and so who knows what was going to happen there.
They certainly a good chance to collect themselves and reset the situation. I'll reset it for you right now. 44-40, Blue Devils lead. 1 minute exactly remaining in the game. They got 35 seconds on the shot clock, although I guess they gave Korzenski the timeout as soon as Bogart Cup actually had possession. He didn't have possession.
Probably they were holding off on establishing possession because that ball was kind of tipped forward. And so as soon as he grabbed it, I think. Oh, but they did adjust and took a couple of seconds off the shot clock.
So it's 33 seconds on the shot clock. Exactly 1 minute in the game. The Newark Reds stormed back in the fourth quarter, outscoring Mynderse 9-0 early on before Griffin Herron hit a foul line floater and then a three-pointer to get Mynderse on the board. Since then, Jared King knocked down 2 free throws. Darren Miller made 1 of 2 here in the fourth quarter. Mynderse leads by 4, and it's Jared King getting the ball to Jake Smith. And Smith bounce pass to Miller. Out to Fran's zone. Smith swings it to King. 22 seconds to shoot, and Gavin Buck fouled him. Looks like that was an intentional strategy.
It did. It does, but, I mean, you got to think of that's what you're going to do. Why not do it earlier in the shot clock and let 14 seconds go?
Know why Jared King just knocked down a couple free throws. So let's see if he can do it again. Big free throws for the sophomore. And gets it to go. Wow. Still just a 2-possession game, 5-point lead now for the Blue Devils. 2-possession game even if he hits this one. Now he's got Bogart checking in for Griffin Herron.
He's switching a little bit offense-defense with Herron having the 4 fouls, I think, and go a little bit larger on the defensive end. I'm sure we'll see Herron come right back once Mynderse regains possession.
4 fourth-quarter free throws from Jared King. We now have 45 seconds left. Blue Devils lead by 6. Martinez lets a 3-ball go. No good. And Vandemortel up for the rebound, bumped by Miller. Fresh shot clocks. They swing it. Gavin Buck tries a 3. Too hard. Back iron rebounded by Bogart. Into the hands of Miller. Up ahead to Fran's zone. They want it out of his hands, though. They're going to send Fran's zone to the free throw line. Jaden Peters just picked up his 4th foul. 26.3 to go. Blue Devils up 6.
Well, it's looking good for the Blue Devils. Still just a 2-possession game. But we'll get Sal Franzone with a chance to make it a 3-possession from the free throw line.
I think the Blue Devils wanted, or the Reds would have preferred to have Peters or Vandemortel take those 3-point shots, but Martinez hit a couple of 3-pointers against Wayne late in the game.
Well, and credit Mynderse defensively, and they knew that was the case, and they were really blanketing both Vandemortel and Peters out at the 3-point arc.
And the Big Ragu knocks down his first points of the game. With that free throw, and this
make it a 3-possession game.
Yeah, this will be an 8-point lead. Too hard off the back iron. They'll have to move quickly. Here comes Martinez straight to the basket, up and under and in, and we got a timeout Newark. So that's just what Newark needed. With 19.9, they cut the lead back down to 5. They're going to need a steal or a quick foul here.
Yeah, on the defensive end, you had Jake Smith just face guarding Vandemortel, was not going to let him get the ball. Normally he'd come over and help so that Martinez is not able to drive right to the basket like that, but they're just prioritizing, nope, we're not going to give up the 3-ball.
So the Blue Devils with a 5-point advantage.
The home crowd heading for the exits a little early.
Yeah, really. You know, you do get the feeling, though, that Mynderse has this game in control, and I haven't really felt that way until those last 2 free throws by Jared King, followed by the missed 3-pointers by Buck and Martinez. And once Mynderse secured that rebound, it really looked good for the Blue Devils.
Yep. Mynderse needs to make sure they get the ball in bounds.
So Chichino's player of the game, assuming Mynderse can hold on to this lead, you know, it's Darren Miller was the leading scorer. Griffin Herron hit the big shots. It's a tough one. You know, I think we did have Darren Miller on in Clyde when they beat Clyde. I think we should maybe, even though he only had 8 points on the night, you know, Griffin Herron with 2 of the biggest shots of the year for Mynderse.
2 big shots from Mynderse, and also he's been real tough and physical, doing a nice job of coming up and pressuring those guards of the Newark Reds. Both Peters and Vandemortel have been frustrated by Herron's defense.
And Peters just fouled out, so if any hope that Newark had, the door closing a little bit tighter here. Yes, Peters one of their better 3-point shooters. But King to the line, he's made 4 straight. And he misses that one. So even if he makes this, it's still a 2-possession game. We got another timeout on the court. And, our Cicino's Pizzeria player of the game going to go to Griffin Herron, the junior guard, with those 5 fourth-quarter points when Newark had come back and tied the game. A couple of huge shots. And there he is, large cheese pizza.
Well, and really a gutty defensive performance by Griffin. You know, he was doing a good job being physical. He handled the point guard responsibilities, for the Blue Devils, did a good job of settling things down. And when Newark really made that run, they're coming out and they're extending that zone half-court trap, and they were struggling with it. Griffin drives to the basket, makes a little short jumper, and then on the next possession, shakes loose and knocks down a quick three-pointer.
His second 3 of the night, and it really propelled Mynderse back into the lead, and it's been a lead they've been able to hold. And really across the board, I think these Blue Devils have played great. A lot of guys that have been catching a lot of heat in this slow start for the Blue Devils that have them at 5-7 overall and 2-5 in the league, picking up a big win tonight.
Yeah, it's been a really balanced team effort. Great defense.
As King makes his 5th free throw of the 4th quarter, and it's not over yet as Vandermoor misses a 3, and now that's not what you want. Looks like Miller fouled Green.
Miller fouled Green, but Green struggled a little bit from the free throw line. We'll see.
So 11.2 seconds to go, 6-point lead. Green, let's say he knocks down one of these. You probably want to miss the second one, you think? I don't know.
Not at this point. I think you try and make them both and then go for the steal.
And Green misses the front end, which is the last thing you want to do. Yeah. Bogart and Franzone check in, and boy,
you definitely don't want to miss the first one.
I don't know if everybody thinks the snowstorm's coming, but these bleachers on the far side have really thinned out with the game still undecided here.
Well, I mean, the snow is coming at some point, right, Jim?
Hopefully not tonight. I heard it was going to be Saturday afternoon. Green second free throw, good. Okay, so lead down to 5, 11.2. They got to get it in. They do to Miller. Miller fouled by Vandermoor. He'll walk 90 feet and shoot a couple free throws.
Well, I mean, stranger things have happened, but it certainly does look like a game is in hand for the Blue Devils, a real strong, balanced team performance.
2 free throws here would certainly cinch it. It would make it a 7-point game with 10.4. You make 1 or 2, and Newark knocks down a quick 3. There's the first one by Miller. And Newark will be back in action on, it looks like Monday night they're going to be playing at Batavia, then it'll be at Mid-Lakes. Miller knocks down the second free throw. 10 seconds to go. Vandermoor rises, double clutch 3 off the glass, no good. 5 seconds, that'll do it. And the Mynderse Blue Devils come into Newark's Gymnasium and pull the upset. Your final score, 50-43. And with the win, the Mynderse Blue Devils improved to 6-7 on the season, 3-5 in the league, and we'll be right back with the post-game show right after this.
This live presentation of Wayne Finger Lakes High School basketball on FingerLakes1.com is brought to you thanks to the support of Generations Bank, Bill Cram Chevrolet, Little John Orthodontics, Marshall Exteriors, It's a Wonderful Run 5K, Cicino's Pizzeria and Restaurant, Finger Lakes Partners Insurance, Brad Van Dusen Photography, Penny's Place Family Restaurant, Stever's Garage, The Omen Theater, Red's Place, Wilson Press, Connie's Diner, the Newark Pilots and Geneva Red Wings, the Downtown Deli, and FingerLakes1.com digital marketing.
It's Big Truckin' Deals here at Bill Cram Chevrolet. Check out this cram-tastic inventory for big truckin' deals. Whatever truck you're looking for, we've got the inventory. Trucks for towing, trucks for family, trucks for work, and trucks for fun. Whatever you're into, we've got a big trucking deal waiting for you. All roads lead to Bill Cram Chevrolet, Waterloo Exit 41, Highway 5 and 20 in Seneca Falls. See all our trucking deals at BillCramChevrolet.com.
The newest way to save money is also the easiest way to save money. With the new My Gen Perks mobile app from Generations Bank, you get access to thousands of local and national discounts on shopping, dining, travel, and so much more. The savings don't stop there. Generations Bank's Go Premium and Go Preferred checking accounts also include cell phone protection, roadside assistance, and 24/7 Tri-Bureau credit monitoring. Saving money is for everyone. Stop by any Generations office or visit mygenbank.com to open your account today. Member FDIC. Dr. Littlejohn, Dr. Barbie, and their outstanding orthodontic team share a common goal: to ensure the overall wellness of each of their patients through their exceptional orthodontic care. Dr. Rod Littlejohn and Dr. Liz Barbie are proud to support our area high school athletes.
And welcome back to Newark High School. Your final score, Mynderse 50, Newark 43. The Blue Devils come in, pull the upset off a Newark team that was riding high off a win over Geneva. And Mynderse improves to 6-7 overall, 3-5 in the league. Newark drops to 9-3, 5-3 in the league, really effectively making it now maybe a three-way race in the East with Geneva and Waterloo just a game and a half behind the Wayne Eagles. And I'm joined up here for the Littlejohn Orthodontics post-game show with our Cicino's Pizzeria player of the game. It's Griffin Herron. And Coach Korzenski's been wanting you to shoot more.
Yes.
And you shot more tonight, but the reason you're up, I mean, Darren Miller had 20 points, you had 8. But the reason we're having you up here is that fourth quarter, Newark opened up with a 9-0 run. We needed points. Mynderse needed points, and you hit a foul line jumper and then a big three-pointer, and that was really gave you the lead, which you kept. As a junior, you feel comfortable taking those big shots like that?
Yeah. I've always, in all three sports I play, I've always loved those big moments, watching on TV, always wanting to be that guy, and tonight I had a chance to show it.
Do you think you're more comfortable taking that type of shot a little later in the season now than you would have been back in early December?
For sure. It took a couple talks with Coach getting me to shoot and being comfortable with shooting, but really, I got it now. Yeah,
it's been a kind of an up-and-down season for Mynderse. Mynderse so far has beaten most of the teams you think they might beat, except for a couple upsets along the way, but maybe lost to the teams that you were underdogs to. But tonight you come in as pretty heavy underdogs if you go by the way the season's gone so far. And, the man-to-man defense really gave Newark trouble. Talk about the game plan coming into this game that you guys talked about in practice.
We knew they had the two guys, Peters and Vandemortel, and the whole plan was keeping them under control and honestly switching. That was a big part of our man defense.
One thing about this team too, a lot of young guys. Obviously Darren Miller, the leader of this team, tremendous senior forward. Sale Franzone providing some senior leadership, but you're a junior, one of the few underclassmen on this team. But I look at all these other guys, whether it's Troy Cabot, Nick Jones, Jared King with 5 huge free throws in the fourth quarter. Jake Smith shows a lot of composure out there as a sophomore. Mike Bogart, just a freshman, has to do a lot. Talk about some of these young guys and how they're coming along.
Great. Every day they get better in practice, and it's taken all of us, including me, taking the time to get into the flow of the season, and I think we got it.
Yeah, you sure did tonight. It looked very impressive tonight, and it wasn't sure, like I said, if you're going to be able to hold on to that when Newark came back on a 9-0 run to start the fourth until you hit those 2 big shots. It's great to see you have that success. I know that last game, or what was it? The Geneva game I saw. You came out early, didn't come back in for a long time. You had probably played less minutes in that game than you had all year, and it seemed like things could have taken a turn for the worse, maybe for you personally and the team, who really got handed to them by the Panthers that night. I guess it shows a lot of the character for yourself and the team to be able to battle back from that and come into this gymnasium tonight, a place where Mynderse really doesn't historically do well, and get a win over a team that beat you by 20 points back in early December. Did you guys believe in yourselves from the moment the game started, or did that belief kind of happen as the game went on?
No, for sure. Coming into this week, we knew it was a big week. We had Wayne and Newark, who were in the top. We knew we weren't so hot, and that kind of helped us. We knew we didn't have anything to lose. We knew how big of underdogs we were, and we kind of fueled ourselves off that, coming in here and trying to upset them.
Well, anybody want to give a shout-out to before we get you off here? Your sister, maybe?
Yeah.
Sisters,
Yeah, we'll
brothers,
talk
mom and dad?
Yeah, thank you guys for coming to all the games.
Okay, well, let me make this official here. Our Cicino's Pizzeria player of the game, a large cheese pizza just in time for the conference championship games tomorrow, maybe, or Sunday. There you go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You earned it. And really great job
Thank you.
tonight. A lot of fun to watch you guys come in here and get a big win like that. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
So Griffin Herron, your Cicino's Pizzeria player of the game. And we'll get Tani back in here. And great job. And I can recap the scoring for you real quick here. For Newark, it was Mason Vandermortel with 17, Jaden Peters with 11, Josh Green with 6, Kyle Martinez with 4, Blade Case with 3, and Devin Augusto with 1. For Mynderse, it was Darren Miller with 20 points, carrying a lot of the load inside and on the block, with 2-3 guys on him at times. Jared King with 10 points, including 5 of 6 in the fourth quarter from the free throw line. Griffin Herron, 8 points, 5 huge fourth quarter points. And when Newark had opened up the fourth quarter on a 9-0 run. 3 points for Nick Jones, 3 points for Troy Cavett, 3 points for Jake Smith, and 1 point for the big Ragu, Sal Franzone, 50-43 your final. And again, Mynderse improves to 6-7, 3-5 in the league. Newark falls to 9-3, 5-3 in the league. And Tony, any final thoughts?
Well, it was a great effort by Mynderse. Real solid defense throughout, and we talked about it a lot. Griffin Herron knocking down those big shots, and of course Jared King with those 4 free throws in a row, really icing the game for Mynderse. And so, great win for them. I'm excited to see where Mynderse will fall during this second half of the season, because you could certainly see this game being sort of a springboard type of performance.
Absolutely. So, enjoyed calling the game with you as usual.
As always.
And we saw a good one tonight, boy. Everybody be safe this weekend. Stay warm. Winter storm moving through tomorrow afternoon. Got some great football on Sunday. Watch the Upstate Hoops podcast 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. No matter what the forecast or the snowfall amounts are, we'll be online there. For my broadcast partner, Tane Robinson, for our producer, Jason Hunt, and the rest of our production team, Jeremy Hunt and Paul Russo, I'm Jim Sinicropi. Thanks for watching high school basketball on FingerLakes1.com, and have a great weekend, everybody.